Today's video is a celebration of all things Canada. And there's a card. Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is a 1:64 scale Hot Wheels 1947 Chevy Fleetline. Designed by Phil Riehlman, it debuted in the 2004 First Edition series, and it's based on the real-life production model. Looks like I got myself a brand new 2026 release in fern green, but it's going to become red and white as my entry to the annual Canada Day diecast celebration. It's the 6th year that I've hosted this event. I invite all of my die-cast customizing friends to join in and customize any casting in any scale size in the Canadian flag colors of red and white. I've got some ideas for this one. There's not really anything noteworthy about any of the components of the Fleetline. It's got a hefty die-cast body, plastic interior. Here you see the original white walls, just a little bit scuffed up. I've got something a bit nicer. An all-plastic chassis, totally chromed over. I've got an all-new paint stripper to try out on this project. It's in an aerosol spray can. First time I've seen that. Boy, it smells potent and it is wicked. That sped up a little bit, but the whole thing took less than a minute to peel right down to bare metal. That's awesome. Genolite. It might be a Euro brand. I've never heard of it before. Keeping that out of the reach of kids, though. Born in 1867, Canada is 159 years old this birthday. I'm fortunate to hold a Canadian passport, though I've lived in Europe for so many years, having married an Austrian girl whose flag colors are also red and white, as is our current country of residence, Switzerland. But having grown up in Canada, I can tell you that I drove coast to coast, both directions, more than once, up to the Arctic Circle. I've seen it all, and it's hard to beat. I'm telling you that from right here in the Swiss Alps. My Fleetline is all drilled and tapped now. It's time to take care of any rough spots on the surface to get it ready for a shiny new coat of paint. I do that using a couple of different attachments on my rotary tool. It smooths out nicely. The Chevrolet Special Deluxe Series AH Fleetline was produced by U.S. automaker Chevrolet from 1941 to 1952. The Fleetline was introduced late in the 1941 model year as a four-door sedan only. In 1942, a fastback two-door Aerosedan was also offered, while the sedan was renamed Sportmaster. Production was indefinitely deferred in 1942 due to World War II, after 110,000 had been made, though several thousand Chevy coupes and sedans were produced during the war years for military staff use. In 1945, production for civilians resumed. In 1947, the model year of this car, the Fleetline made up nearly 32% of Chevrolet's sales. It's prime time. I hope all of you get a chance to visit Canada at least once. Coming soon on Maple Leaf Customs is my annual summer road trip series of buddy builds. I've contacted 4 friends in the diecast community These are our themes for Saturdays in July and August. Please keep an eye out for those and may just get introduced to a new customizer that you didn't know before. I'm already on my summer vacation, but I'll make sure there's still a regular Saturday upload for all my viewers. Red and white colors are my only guidelines for this annual invitational, so here comes some Kaleido Shine Red for the Fleetline. I like the styling of the big old cars of the 40s and 50s. The exterior of the Fleetline had smooth curves, lots of chrome and stainless trim. In the earlier models, the rear bumper had an optional center bumper guard that had to be ratcheted out of the way so the trunk cover could be lifted. Front and rear bumpers were offered with optional chrome tips, a dress-up item that bolted to the ends of the stock bumper. Not a Chevy option, but a popular aftermarket feature was a large external sunshade that protected the driver from glare off of the metal dashboard. When Hot Wheels retooled this casting in 2022, they made the sun visor smaller and molded it into the body, as opposed to being a separate piece like it was initially. It's one of the signature looks of this car. If you're interested in buying any of the excellent Kaleido paints that you see me use, or Gaahleri airbrushes, just use the affiliate link in the video description with the coupon code Maple Leaf Customs to receive a 10% discount on your next order. It's always a bit unnerving to unmask a car after doing a secondary paint application, but I'm happy to report and show you that the Fleetline came out looking brilliant with diamond white doors. The closest you'll get to old Europe in Canada is Quebec City. Today's community shout-out goes to fellow Canadian diecast customizer Pigeon on a Treadmill, whom you can find on Instagram by following the link that I left in the description. So, I've laid down a base coat of Shine Red, did up the two doors in high gloss diamond white. Now it's time to apply a couple of highlight features using ghost white toner decals. I go over the body contours that are part of the casting and highlight them this way, which just makes them stand out and suits the theme. Every year I place a maple leaf somewhere on my Canada Day car. This one looks like a rolling flag. That's the biggest one I've ever done. It's proudly taking center place on this one. All of my remaining family members in Canada live in British Columbia. While my freshly applied decals are curing in the dehydrator, I set to work on stripping the plastic chassis of all of its chrome. You can use regular oven or barbecue foam cleaner in a spray, just like this. Takes about 5 minutes to do its thing. I'll give it a rinse, and you'll see it's now just black plastic in this case. I just pat it dry and now it's ready for detailing using some Molotow chrome applied with a fine tip paintbrush. Let me know in the comments below if you're a fan of this era of American car design and whether you ever see any of them roaming the streets in the wild today where you live. It'd be a rare sight over here where I am, but there is a local collector in my little village who keeps his classic cars on display in a glass front garage that we walk by regularly. No EV is ever going to have the same kind of personality that these ones did. At least that's what I think. Always room for one more maple leaf. I probably could have touched up these white walls that were original to the casting and they would have looked fine. But they are bald plastic and I've got something a little nicer here. True spokes and real rubber from Samed wheels. They're also white walls, which is a look that I like on this car. The only thing is the axles are long, so I'm going to have to trim them to size, which is easily done. 2 coats of Kaleido high gloss varnish went on top of the Fleetline. It's compatible with the Kaleido paints, of course. Locks down the decals and gives it a nice shine. I never touched the opaque all black windshield or the interior because you don't see a thing inside. I dechromed the plastic chassis, detailed the undercarriage and front grille and rear bumper. There's the nice set of upgraded Samed wheels. I do occasional dry fits all throughout a restoration process, so there are no surprises when it comes to this stage of reassembly. All the basic components go back in together the way they should. Check for tire rotation. I use a set of M2 4mm screws to put it back together. I'm happy to say that it both bounces and rolls. Toronto was home for most of my time in Canada. Now let's have a closer look. I think the red and white color scheme suits the Fleetline very well, don't you? You can't beat that big Canada flag right in the middle. White walls suit the period. And you'll see I did some chrome detail on the hood, door handles, and gas cap. Clean and simple today. I like the Fleetline just like this. I wouldn't mind having it in my driveway, and I'd happily tour around in it. But the theme was red and white for Canada Day. This is my tribute to my home country and its people and what it stands for. We're not going to get in your face, but we will have your back. I promise you that. And if you will indulge me on this Canada Day, I want to pay tribute to 2 great Canadians and the 2 greatest goals scored in the history of hockey. Paul Henderson's series-winning goal for Team Canada in '72 and Bobby Orr's flying Stanley Cup winner. Heroes, both of them. So a happy Canada Day to all of you, no matter your country of birth or residence. If you participated in this invitational, send your glamour pics to that address and be happy that you can call at least one Canadian a friend. That's me. Drive carefully. It's coffee time.